It's a very warm welcome back to a second half independent off-tube studio commentary from the game at the Cardiff City Stadium. UEFA Nations League, it is Wales 0, Poland 0. And Wales need to win this game to avoid a relegation. They currently sit last in the group, and they would overtake Poland if they could get a result this evening. Poland beat Wales 2-1. So certainly there's still, in the reverse fixture, there's certainly still an incentive here for Wales to get forward and get the win. They started better in the first half, but couldn't quite create the chances. They got a few chances towards the end of the half, certainly created more than Poland did. The visitors, after a very slow start, started to see a little bit more of the ball, but both sides would certainly want to see an improvement in the final third. But we are underway in this second half. It's myself, Paul Szczerbakowicz, and Rob Eddy taking you through the action. Rob, I think Wales would probably say they probably just shaded it in the first half?
Yeah, but I don't think they've done enough to take the lead. They perhaps had the best of it overall, but I think that Lewandowski chance is arguably the best of the 45, even though perhaps overall play Wales might think they had the better. It just took Poland a long time to get going, but once they had done, I thought it was fairly even Stevens, and they just haven't tested the keeper enough for Wales. Mistakes have been a problem for both sides. But I think 0-0 is a fair reflection of the game, to be fair. I think both sides are essentially cancelling each other out in the main.
Yes, they are. I would agree with that. And just to remind you of the two teams, Wayne Hennessy in goal for Wales. The back three of Joe Rodden, Ben Cabango and Rhys Norrington-Davies. The four in midfield are Connor Roberts, Joseph Morrow, Dylan Levitt and Neco Williams, with Dan James, Gareth Bale and Brennan Johnson as the attacking three. As for Poland, it is Wojciech Szczęsny in goal, with the back three of Jan Bednarek, Kamil Glik and Jakub Kiwior. Four in midfield, Bartosz Bereszyński, Grzegorz Krychowiak, Szymon Żurkowski and Nicolas Zalewski, with Piotr Zieliński, Karol Swiderski and Robert Lewandowski as the three up front. Poland just caught offside as they were trying to push down the right-hand side, so it is going to be a free kick to Wales at the edge of their own penalty area. And Hennessy takes this one himself, sends a long ball over towards the right-hand side, aiming for Connor Roberts. It's over his head and headed forward now by Kiwior. Still bouncing around in midfield before Levitt finally takes it down for Wales. That's a good ball. I thought it was a good ball to Johnson. He left it for Dan James, but it just eluded Dan James. And now stepping forward here is Zieliński for Poland. Plays it square to Bereszyński, who chose not to play it back. He goes forward himself now, Bereszyński. It's a decent run as well. Spots Żurkowski on the right-hand side. He's being closed down by Norrington-Davies. Into the middle now for Krychowiak, and Zieliński now stepping forward down the left-hand side, gets to the edge of the area, leaves it now for Zalewski. Zalewski up against Roberts, takes him on, gets a cross in as well, overplays it though. It's over the two Polish players inside the penalty area. Bereszyński now closing things down on the right-hand side. He gets away from Williams, and Williams crunches him there, and that's going to be a booking. The referee coming over straight away to show Neco Williams the yellow card.
Yeah, he just it's good play from Bereszyński, because he looked as though he was going to be under pressure there, but just a little flick as the tackle was being coming in. Then Neco Williams is playing catch up, and he just overstretched. It's probably the second leg sweeping up behind, because obviously he's sliding in, and he's definitely got his man there.
He has, and he won't be too happy with that, the yellow card, Williams, because he is quite a physical player, and it has been quite a physical game. Certainly a couple of strong challenges in the first half. Bereszyński still getting some treatment right by the corner flag. It may well be that they just sort of shimmy him off the pitch so that Poland can take this free kick. He's hobbling, but back on his feet now is Bartosz Bereszyński, and he should be okay to play on. But this is a good chance for Poland. It's pretty much a corner kick, only it's a yard further in field, and they've got a left-footed option in Zalewski and a right-footed option in Zieliński. There's a real cluster of Polish and Welsh players on the penalty spot. The referee just trying to get a bit of order in that bunch there, but it's going to be whipped in, or potentially there's going to be a short ball as well. Referee just trying to get Morel and Swiderski to separate. So just waiting for this free kick to be taken. It is going to be Piotr Zieliński, lifts it towards the edge of the 6-yard box. He was aiming for Jan Bednarek, almost surprised Bednarek there. He was in a slightly the wrong position to head that towards goal, and Wales clear their lines.
Yeah, not a bad ball in. It gave them a chance to attack. It's just perhaps a fraction too high. And in fairness to Rodon, he's done enough there. He's a problem. He's an obstacle. and Bednarek just can't generate the power. He can't really get into the right position, so a half chance at absolute best there for Poland. We haven't seen too many from set, but we haven't seen too many in the game, as that's a mistake. Could be a chance here for Lewandowski now. He's been penalised for a foul. I didn't think there's much in it. I thought there was a misjudgment by Cabango, who let the ball bounce. Let's have another look.
Well, I think it is, but I think Lewandowski doesn't need to put his arm on Cabango there. By doing that, he's encouraging the referee to make a decision, and the referee does make a decision. As now, is the referee going to make a decision here? He points to the 6-yard box after Dan James colliding there with Kamil Glik. Rob Page with arms aloft as well. I think he was expecting a decision in favour of Wales there, as Kamil Glik is suggesting that he might have been struck by Dan James. It has just been given as a goal kick after all of that. Kamil Glik is now down on his haunches, but he was trying to shepherd this out. I say he's never going to win a race with Dan James. He actually puts his arm across, and then James with a bit of a boot to the face of Kamil Glik, which he could always say was accidental, but Glik quite physical there as he was trying to stop Dan James.
Yeah, again he let the ball bounce and he's open for the keeper to come, but if the referee's not going to give a foul, he's got to give a corner, because it definitely hit Glik last. So if that's not a foul either way, then it's a corner kick to Wales.
Yeah, I agree. I think that I'm surprised that after all of that it's been given as a goal kick, but certainly Dan James doing his best there to get his own back on the much bigger player there, as Szczęsny now clears a long ball up towards the halfway line, headed on by Lewandowski, but that's straight through to Ben Cabango. And now it's Morel going back towards Neco Williams, who switches from left to right, picking out Roberts on the right-hand side, who lifts the ball into the Polish half, and that's easily headed away by Kamil Glik. Swiderski chests it down, finds Lewandowski, and now Krychowiak in possession for Poland. Over towards Piotr Zielinski on the left-hand side. He does have Zalewski on the overlap. He just waits a little bit longer. Then he gets the 1-2 from Zalewski. Zielinski breaking into the box, and that's disappointing from Piotr Zielinski there. I thought he had enough space to get a cross in, or at least force a deflection for a corner. He doesn't do either. Yeah,
but that's a couple of crosses now, or crossing opportunities, where I'm looking in the middle and nobody's really there. We saw it a couple of minutes ago in the cross. Okay, it was a little bit over hit, but even if it put it on the edge of the 6-yard box, there isn't a white shirt in sight, and neither Swiderski or Lewandowski were, racing to give Zielinski an option there. So if he had got round the outside, I mean, who's he going to cross to anyway? I think they've got to be a little bit more desperate to get in the middle there, because it's a decent position, and if they're not going to be there, then it's kind of a waste of energy.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's a very fair point. We've just seen the Bournemouth forward Kiefer Moore warming up for Wales, potentially Rob Page just wanting to add a little bit more physicality to his attack. That certainly wouldn't be a bad idea, but here come Wales now with Neco Williams. He broke well from the left-hand side, but then he overplays the pass into the penalty area, and it's away for a Polish goal kick.
Yeah, well, I'm not surprised about a change, whether it's going to be like for like in the sense that Gareth Bale started in place of Kiefer Moore. I mean, I know they're not similar players, but if it's going to be him, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, because to me, Bale's been a passenger. He's done practically nothing in 53 minutes. He could have got a yellow card for a challenge. It wasn't the worst challenge, but other referees would have given it. He just hasn't figured, has he? He looked more dangerous towards the end of the first half when he dropped deep. But, we've completed 53 minutes, and you can't really think of what Gareth Bale has done in the game, other than the long throw where he ghosted round and then didn't get a proper shot off, as Poland thought they'd won a corner, but they haven't. It's a Wales goal kick. Obviously, you lose the potential creativity of Gareth Bale, but it does give them somebody in the box with a physical presence, as you mentioned.
Yeah, well, Kiefer Moore's just been for another quick warm-up. It looks like he's going to be getting ready to come on soon. I'll be interested to see who he does replace once he does get on the field. But for the time being, he's actually gone to sit back down on the bench. So it looks like Rob Page wants to keep him warm, but he's not going to be coming on yet for the time being, as Poland thought they'd won the ball back in midfield through Jakub Kiwior, but the referee deciding that was a foul on Brennan Johnson in Poland, winning it back. So it is going to be a free kick to Wales, now played back towards the edge of the area. Hennessy over towards the left-hand side, and Norrington Davis there under pressure, but he does well, just goes past Lewandowski, and he's charging well into the Poland half here. Although he overplays it, it's just like the attack we saw a moment ago where Williams overplayed. He did the hard work in getting out of midfield, but then he completely overplays the pass.
Yeah, I mean, not wishing to be overly critical, it's probably a defender's pass, isn't it? Like you say, done the hard work, and he didn't even need to pass it then. He could have just composed himself. It's a couple of opportunities that Wales have let go. It's been quite a bitty start to the second half. Neither side has been able to sort of get any kind of momentum going. And they've just wasted a couple of opportunities there, like Poland not having anybody in the box on a couple of attacks they've had. But it's more understandable from a Polish viewpoint because they don't necessarily need to win this. Wales do. Otherwise, they're getting relegated. So they've got to be a little bit more composed. They've got to get more bodies forwards. Because even if a draw is not the worst result, but it means they're getting relegated.
Well, it does, as Poland, just as they were getting into possession there, Bereszyński treads on the ball, loses possession. Poland trying to win it back here through Swiderski, but he plays it out for a throw. 55 minutes gone, independent on unofficial off-tube studio commentary, still goalless between Wales and Poland. It's also still goalless between the Netherlands and Belgium, which is the other game in this group. And Austria-Croatia, they're still drawing 1-1, and Denmark still leading 2-0 against France. Those are the other games in League A being played this evening. Poland win the ball back inside their own half, and Zalewski plays a ball down the left here for Zielinski, but even Zielinski at his quickest isn't going to get to that one. It's easily played back by Cabango to Hennessy, who then clears it up towards the halfway line. Kiwior then chests it forward, but it's to no one in particular. Wales have it back. It's a long ball played up towards Dan James. But that's not really a fair fight in the air, is it, between Dan James and Bednarek? He's got a real height advantage there, and he wins that back for Poland. Krychowiak now square over towards the left-hand side. Lewandowski in a slightly deeper role this time. And he's got an overlap there from Zalewski. Chooses to ignore it, though. Cuts back into the middle. Thought about shooting there for a moment, but he plays it square in the end. And it's now with Szczerbakowicz over to Bereszyński on the right-hand side. Poland just starting to get a few more numbers forward, but Szczerbakowicz into a bit of a cul-de-sac there. Forced to go back to Bereszyński. He cuts it back towards Bednarek. And Poland just holding back in defensive midfield, all the way back to the halfway line now, in fact, with Bale pressing on Krychowiak. Zalewski now to Kiwior back towards Kamil Glik. So at least Poland will be happy to have a bit of possession. It's just what they do with it now. Zielinski to Kiwior. Kiwior trying a ball towards the box. Lewandowski touches it on for Swiderski, and that's the best Polish move we've seen in the game. And on 57 minutes, it is the visitors that take the lead. Finally, a little bit of quality in the final third from Poland. Lewandowski with the assist this time, but a smart finish from Swiderski.
Yeah, I mean, I've just been thinking to myself, obviously I was wondering what Gareth Bale had done in the game. I was thinking to myself, what has Swiderski done in this game? But that's a lovely little touch from Lewandowski, and running onto it as cool as you like. I mean, it's a nice, crisp finish. He's given Hennessy no chance at all. I mean, he hasn't done anything for 57 minutes, but he's then scored, and Wales need to score twice now, and they haven't looked like scoring once up to this point. But yeah, the touch from Lewandowski, whether it was 100% meant, he is just onside as well. I think he has meant it, yeah. And to be fair, Cabango has just been caught ball watching there, didn't track the run, and then cool finish under Hennessy in the back of the net. Poland lead with a little over half an hour to go.
Yeah, well, it's as I say, Lewandowski's had a bit of a heavy touch a few times this evening, but that really was a very cushioned pass from the Polish captain. And Swiderski running onto it perfectly. Also be a little bit ultra critical and say that there was the Welsh defender, I think it was Cabango, that was on Lewandowski. If he'd have just been half a yard more in line with his teammates, and Lewandowski was close to being offside there, but we've seen a replay now, and it looks like we have seen a substitution here as well, as Kiefer Moore is on, but Gareth Bale is still on, as is Dan James. Has this been for Brennan Johnson then? Just trying to see who the substitution was for. But Kiefer Moore is definitely on the field. We'll just wait for a confirmation as to who he's replaced. And we'll be able to let you know. But the big man from Bournemouth, actually born in Torquay, is Kiefer Moore. But obviously with Welsh heritage, is on the field now. And that's going to be another problem here for Poland in terms of the marking, because he's a very big player, he's a physical player, and that's something that I think Rob Page wants to do. Now, confirmation that it's Rhys Norrington Davis that's gone off, so is this Wales now going back to a back four potentially?
Yeah, it would certainly indicate that. A flat back four, obviously it's got rid of one of the yellow cards. Norrington Davis, Nico Williams, he's on a yellow card as well, but he might just drop back a little bit deeper. If you're going to go with four up top, or certainly three with Gareth Bale presumably floating, They've got to. They need 2 goals.
Well, this is a great run here from Brennan Johnson. He breaks into the box. He hits it with the left foot, and that is a fingertip save low down there from Wojciech Szczęsny to put it out for a corner. A quick round of applause from Rob Page on the touchline, because that's the perfect response from Wales, and that's a really good save from Szczęsny as well.
Yeah, I don't like the defending. They're just too backy off. They're just giving him a chance to move. I mean, they've really retreated there, and they don't close it down. And I think Szczęsny has seen it late, and that's a great save, like you say. Still 1-0 down.
Yes, and a corner kick now from Dan James. Lifts it towards the edge of the 6-yard box. It's Kiwior with the header away. And then Swiderski and Bereszyński sort of both waiting for each other to clear it before they eventually do. And then a free kick given in favour of Poland as Levitt goes in quite hard on Karol Swiderski. But he's picked himself up now, and he's going to be able to play on. Who's had some good seasons playing in POK Saloniki before moving to Charlotte in the MLS. And he's had 28 games for them this season with 10 goals. Not the most prolific striker. He's more of a forward, really. He does play well in a 3 up front. But you can see the frustrated look from the Welsh defenders there after that goal was scored for Poland, because Wales would have felt as though they had Poland under wraps, really. Just the first little bit of quality there as Lewandowski was able to flick it in to Swiderski. But since that goal, Poland have barely had a touch of the ball. It's all Wales trying to get back into this game. 61 minutes gone. It is Wales 0, Poland 1. And here is Neco Williams down the left-hand side. Plays it in towards Dylan Levitt. Space for Wales down the right-hand side. Bale over towards Brennan Johnson. Roberts has gone in ahead of him, but Johnson puts a cross in, which is volleyed clear by Glik. And then Zielinski out towards Nikola Zalewski, who's stopped by Brennan Johnson, and fair play to Johnson. He actually stops it going out of play, but then Roberts plays it straight into Zalewski, who then wins his side of throws. So Wales frustrated there, not being able to keep possession. Yeah,
I think Zielinski for me is probably the standout Poland player, because he's wanted the ball, he's got on the ball, he's made runs, he's worked 1-2s. In this game, okay, he might not have necessarily threatened the keeper, but he's got that touch of the Jack Grealishes about him, not least the way he wears his socks, but he's always wanting the ball. Okay, he could have passed it better, but I'm thinking of other players who have had more of an impact in the game, and I can't think of one on the fact that Swiderski's scored the goal, but that's literally all he's done for an hour, whereas Zielinski's kind of been trying to dictate. So I've been, reasonably impressed with him.
I've always felt as though Zielinski could actually give a little bit more. He's a player who was scouted into Serie A as a 16, 17-year-old. He's been through a few Italian teams and has now been very settled at Napoli since 2015. He's a regular starter for them. Just sometimes a little bit off the pace, actually, in terms of the national team. But he's certainly putting in a good performance this evening. But his side are having to track back and defend. And what's interesting is that Poland are naturally starting to sit a little bit deeper now. You mentioned that before with the Brennan Johnson chance where they're all backing off. In the first half, Poland tried to press a little bit higher to get Wales away from their box. But now maybe it's just that normal psychological approach that when you're in front, you just start to play a little bit deeper. But that's always a risk, I think, if you do that.
Yeah, definitely a risk. It's different, I suppose, the longer the game goes on, but there's still plenty of time left in this game. You want to keep Wales honest, otherwise they're just going to pen you in to their own half. I mean, there is a chance to hit on the counter, I guess, but there was an opportunity there, but I thought they played the wrong pass. They've won the free kick though, and it's still Poland possession, but there's an awful long way to go in this game, considering they're only 1-0 up. 2-0's a different story, and you'd be playing with a bit more confidence, because I don't think Wales have necessarily defended brilliantly in this game. We've seen 1 or 2 errors there, and now Poland have just been caught in possession. A Wales breakout, that's not a great pass from Bale, but it is kept in by Williams.
Superb play from Williams to keep the attack going. A sliding challenge there from Bereszyński to try and stop the attack, and then eventually Williams gets the final touch and can't keep it in play. I mean, you're absolutely right. It wasn't a great ball from Gareth Bale, but Neco Williams made it look like a good ball the way he controlled it. Got away from Bednarek, but then Bereszyński coming across just to try and track back, and a little bit unfortunate there, Williams, not getting a touch. But Poland are now going to make their first change, and it's actually the goal scorer, Swiderski. He's been through the wars in this game. He's been pushed around a few times, so he's off. And it's Krzysztof Piątek who comes on to replace him. Piątek was certainly spoken about for a long time as being a sort of an ideal partner for Lewandowski up front, but his club career has just gone a little bit stale in the last few seasons. having had a good couple of seasons, having had an excellent season at Genoa, then moved to AC Milan, didn't get the goals that he wanted, and had a couple of 3 seasons at Hertha Berlin, and now he's back in the Serie A, but not really too sure of his former international level. He's struggled to get goals, but here come Wales now with Brennan Johnson. He goes for a shot from a very tight angle. He shouldn't have done that, really. Bale just waving to his teammate there, saying that there could have been a pass towards the box.
Yeah, it's greedy. It's greedy. The angle isn't fantastic. They've worked to the opening fairly well. Kiefer Moore's in the middle. Daniel James is arriving. Gareth Bale had pulled off to the edge of the box. He's in Akers. Perhaps he didn't give Johnson the shout. You never quite know. If Johnson doesn't know who's behind him, it's very easy for that player to raise his arms and go, look at me, I'm in Akers. But if he doesn't tell him he's in Akers, then it's a problem. But I think he should have crossed. The angle isn't fantastic, and he did have options.
He did, as the long ball hoisted up towards the edge of the Wales penalty area. Lewandowski couldn't quite win the header, and then Bereszyński trying to keep the ball in play. Krychowiak doesn't manage it. He is out for a throw to Wales, taken quickly by Dan James. Neco Williams switching over towards the right-hand side for Connor Roberts. Wales certainly looking the more expansive side, having conceded. They are really trying to go for this equaliser. A long ball now down the right-hand side, kept in play here by Johnson. Finds Bale, who tries an outside of the boot cross towards the edge of the area. It's Bednarek with the header away at the edge of the 6-yard box, and then there's a high boot there from Szczerbakowicz. Roberts certainly suggested it might have been caught, but referee says play on. It's Dan James now, edge of the area, tries to funnel a ball through to Bale, who tried to flick it towards goal, but he had Bednarek in the way. And now it's Zielinski clipping a ball over the top here for Lewandowski, and Piontek is breaking through the middle. Lewandowski plays a good ball to him, perhaps just slightly too much of an angle, so Piontek certainly can't run onto that and score, but he can certainly keep possession at the edge of the area to wait for support. He finds Lewandowski. The move breaks down for Poland a little bit, although they still have a chance here as Lewandowski spots a chance. Oh, that's a terrible ball from Lewandowski. He's very right-footed, and that left-footed attempted cross is just evidence of that.
Yeah, I mean, that's not great. And just the pass before that, he was telling Bereszyński to go down the line and then played it behind Bereszyński, so a bit of momentum lost. I thought the pass to Piontek could have been better as well.
Should have played it more through the middle, absolutely.
He hit it far too hard, and then the momentum lost because nobody's tracking Piontek. That was a great breakout from Poland, and there was a great opportunity to get a strike at goal. Having said that, we've finally seen a bit of quality in the final third from Gareth Bale. I just think it was just more intent. He was high up the pitch. He'd had a look. He took a quick touch to get it under control. Early ball in, and he gave Kiefer Moore a chance at the far post to attack it. Now, we haven't really seen that from Wales. It's all deliberate. Let's wait for space. And, of course, it allows Poland to just regroup. So that was a bit better from Wales. We might get a second goal in this game.
Well, it's certainly Poland was certainly in a good position there on the counter-attack, but Kiefer Moore dropping a little bit deeper this time, getting away from Piontek, who's back here in defence. Now it's with Williams on the left-hand side. He lifts across, which eludes everyone in the middle of the penalty area, and that's a good header away from Zielinski. Needed to be, because Johnson and Roberts were lurking on that right-hand side as Wales look. And it is a throw to Wales down the right-hand side, played back now towards Levitt. And now it's with Joseph Morel in midfield. Plays it square to Williams. Space here for Dan James down the right-hand side, trying to get away from Bereszyński. Lifts a ball into the penalty area, headed away by Glick. Follow-up effort there from Dylan Levitt is a long way wide, and that is out for a goal kick. So we're at the three-quarter mark in the game, 68 minutes gone. It is Wales 0, Poland 1. It'll be Rob to take us through to full-time. Yeah, cheers, Paul. Obviously, plenty still riding on this game. Just a quick round of the latest scores and perhaps results elsewhere. Austria, Croatia is 1 apiece. Denmark lead France 2-0. Still goalless Netherlands, Belgium. While the Faroe Islands are leading Turkey 2-0. That's a surprising result if it stands. Luxembourg, Lithuania currently goalless. Their match is still going on. Poland, they did have possession, but now they've lost it. And that's a foul by Bereszyński. Free kick to Wales, halfway inside their own half with time running out. 21 minutes left, plus obviously stoppage time for Wales to get at least the 2 goals they need to beat Poland and secure their League A
survival. They're heading for relegation at the moment. But Wales are doing most of the pressing as it's down the left with James going around the outside of Berezynski. Left-footed cross. He sliced it, it's gone behind, and that's more disappointment for Wales in the final third. Just the other results: Azerbaijan 3, Kazakhstan 0, Slovakia, Belarus finished 1 apiece. Andorra, Latvia also finished 1 apiece, and Moldova beat Liechtenstein by 2 goals to 0. They were results. The earlier scores were scores latest. As Wales are going to make another change. They've already brought Kiefer Moore on. We're going to see another change now made by, shortly, by Rob Page. He's not quite ready yet, so that change won't be coming on at this goal kick as Strasny hits it long. It is flicked on by Lewandowski, but Rodon gets there ahead of Piontek and finds Roberts down the line to Kiefer Moore. Back to Roberts inside the Wales half, who goes all the way back to Hennessy, right on his own goal line, plays it out to Morel, now out to Cabango, hits it downfield, possibly sensibly, to get it away from danger, but it has coughed up possession. Here come Poland through the middle with Zakowski, lofts it into the box, so a slight misjudgment could fall for Piontek. He does get it the second attempt. Zakowski in the D, took a while to get it under control, can't find a teammate, and Levitt brings it clear for the men in red. Fed out to Brennan Johnson, but his nutmeg didn't work. Now it's with Zalewski going infield, plays it safe, going back into his own half. Of course, Poland don't need to score. They lead by 1 to 0. And it's all the way back with Szczesny. Now, he goes long, just over the head of Berezynski. I don't think Piontek will keep this in, although we'll try and force a mistake out of Rodon. He's only took the Welsh defender back, though, and it's a free kick to Wales, 15 yards from their own corner flag. Yeah,
but Piontek won't mind that too much because it does allow for a little bit of time just to take Wales a little bit longer to restart play. It's going to be a substitution here now for the home side. It's going to be Ruben Colwill, the youngster from Cardiff City, playing at his own stadium, and he replaces Dylan Levitt.
Dylan Levitt handshakes, high fives rather, with the boss. Colwill comes on, 1 or 2 instructions to dish out as well. But obviously 18 minutes left for Wales to turn this game around. Winless in 4 and heading for a 5th match without victory. Not exactly ideal momentum going into the World Cup, of course, but being at the World Cup is an achievement in itself. Don't want to sound patronising, but it's been a while since Wales have got there. As Poland clear downfield. Again, Cabango's let it bounce. Lewandowski flicks on, but Rodon spotted the danger. He's only given it to Lewandowski, though. He's trying to go around Rodon, can't. Good recovery from the number 6, who's frustrated. He has conceded a corner, but he stopped Lewandowski getting into the box. Set piece coming up.
Is he frustrated there at the referee, or is he frustrated at his teammates? I think he might have felt as though Piontek was just pushing him there as he was trying to clear his lines, but then Lewandowski put him under pressure, and Rodon actually did well just to make sure it goes out for a corner.
We haven't seen many set pieces in the game, either end of the pitch. Corners, free kicks, haven't been many. As Zelensky tees this one up for his delivery. There's one man out there for the cross now, no fooling anyone. It's low towards the near post, cleared by Neco Williams. That happens a lot, of course, in football. Disappointing, but good run from Zakowski, who goes around the outside, gets a cross in, headed away by Cabango, further downfield by Dan James, but Poland have it back with Krakowiak, halfway inside the Wales half. Now it's with Zielinski. Down the line to Zakowski. He's under pressure. He's done well to find Zielinski. He's slowed it right down. There's a Poland player down in the box, though, so the referee has stopped play. And
I think
it's a back injury rather than a head injury.
Yeah, it's Kivior who's down. I think as he's jumping for this header, I think it's just the way he's collided there with Connor Roberts. He's landed really hard on his back there. Picked himself up, though, now, Kivior, so he should be okay to play on. And looks like he's all right now, but he landed quite awkwardly there.
Can't tell you there's been a goal in the other game in this group. The Netherlands lead Belgium by 1 goal to 0. By all accounts, that wasn't a great first half, but at least there's been a goal in the second. Virgil van Dijk it was who scored it. Netherlands lead at home against Belgium. And Croatia have gone 2-1 up in Austria. They might just have gone 3-0, but no other changes to the earlier scorelines. And of course that means Wales are still trailing Poland by a goal to nil with a little over 15 minutes left. Szczerbakowicz frustrated to have conceded a free kick. It's inside the Wales half though, so no imminent danger, but obviously it's possession back to the hosts this evening. But they've struggled to test the Polish goal, haven't they? They're not getting shots off. There was that very ambitious Brennan Johnson opportunity, but it's been a struggle so far. There's a bit of space here though for Colwell into the box, down the left channel, a left-footed cross, slightly mishit and cleared away by Poland. Looked promising for a moment. Lewandowski goes down under pressure from Cabango on the halfway line, and that'll be a free kick. Frustration for Cabango, but Lewandowski is indicating you clearly pulled me. And it will be a free kick to Poland. Croatia have gone 3-1 up.
They have. I mean, Lewandowski was being held onto there. There's no way that he was being pulled to the ground like he's suggesting with both arms. Cabango was holding onto Lewandowski and then he lost his balance. So in that situation, the striker does often get the decision. But as I say, it probably wasn't quite as obvious as Lewandowski was suggesting.
Berezynski plays it down the line, looking for Piontek. Of course, is Poland's second half substitution. He's forced an error. I think that's gone out of play. Yes. He just forced Rodon to go back to his keeper, but it's gone behind the byline, and it will be a corner kick. A set-piece opportunity out of nothing. Of course, the last set-piece didn't beat them out at the near post. But a second opportunity in relatively quick succession for Zielinski to give the likes of Medvedev and others a chance. I'm assuming Klich and Kiwior will be up there.
Yep, they can just see Klich arriving at the edge of the area. Kiwior's up there as well. As the ball is now going to be swung out from the right-hand side.
It is towards the near post. I think it was a Polish foot who got there first. It was blocked at source, then hacked downfield. There's a race on, and that's surely deliberate obstruction. No, Dan James has been told to get up. He's down on the floor. I mean, he was nowhere near the ball, but that was obvious. Berezynski running across him. The Polish attack comes to nothing. Dan James is, of course, now back on his feet. Brennan Johnson has it on the right. There is support arriving in the box. He tried to play it low to Gareth Bale, but it doesn't beat the first man, Kiwior, and it's cleared downfield by Zielinski. It's going to come back, is it? No, there's a slightly hit pass from Morel. Now there's a fight for the ball. Szczerbakowicz is told to get up as well. Wales aren't waiting around as it's fed out to Dan James onto his right foot. Cross in towards the far post. Oh, and it's just tipped around the post by Szczesny, and that will be a corner kick.
Yeah, right smile there from Szczesny towards Kamil Glik, because Glik leaves this at the very last second. It looks like he's going for this. Oh, I'll tell you what, keeper, you have it. And then he forces a real acrobatic last-ditch fingertip save there from Szczesny, which it didn't need to be, but as I say, Glik selling his goalkeeper a little bit short there.
Yeah, corner kick to Wales. Of course, two recent corners from the other end have come to nothing, so Wales with an opportunity to do something better as it's in towards the edge of the 6-yard box, and I think it's bounced off Gareth Bale last. No, it might have been Rodon. He's the man in shot. It was a decent ball, but there's a crowd of players, and it was hardly a powerful header, more looping. Might have seen it late, under pressure. Could have done a bit better, actually, maybe.
I think but once he's into that position, he's leapt well there, Rodon. I think he probably would have wanted to get a bit of a better contact on that. He was certainly in a decent position, and those are the sorts of opportunities that Wales need to convert, because they haven't created too many of them.
Yeah, I mean, just going back to the cross itself. I mean, this is an advert for why you don't necessarily need to be right in front of the keeper to be offside for those VAR checks, because the keeper will see a player, even if it's out of the corner of his eye, and then have to delay what he's going to do. That's a perfect example. I'm not saying every offside that's overturned by VAR is right, but it's just an indication as Poland survived that attack. They are 1-0 up with 11.5 minutes to go. They just need to avoid defeat to stay in League A. Wales need to win. But it's a narrow lead, and Poland can hardly rest on their laurels. It was a quality bit of play that brought them the goal. The possession, the flick from Lewandowski, and of course the finish. But it's hardly been in keeping with the rest of this game, and that's an under-hit pass from Roberts. Can't find Johnson this time. In steps Zielinski, and here come Poland again. Down the left-hand side, Lewandowski slows it right down. Zielinski with play. He slows it down again. Poland in no rush to get the ball in the box. Only Piontek is around there. as Lewandowski's playing quarterback at the moment. And then it's a loose pass from the Polish skipper, hacked away by Wales downfield, not particularly well. Hurried clearance from Kivior, who just made sure he got there ahead of Kiefer Moore before it's going to come back from Roberts. Kiefer Moore and Glick then just clash. I think Kiefer Moore accidentally caught Glick in a tender area, but both still on their feet, and Wales attack down their left with James. It tries to feed it inside to Colwell, but that's easily intercepted. It's been that sort of game for Wales, hasn't it? Good positions, poor passing.
Yeah, I think it's just that lacking a little bit in the final third. They have got themselves into some good positions, and on a couple of occasions they just needed a better ball into the box. But here they come now with Dan James.
Yeah, he's showing a bit of pace this time. Gets the half a yard, but the cross intercepted by Bednarek and cleared away downfield by Krakowiak. Piontek under pressure from Rodon, then from Colwell. He's doing well to try and fight those two off, but it's come off his last, and it will be a Wales throw, taken quickly back to Cabango on the halfway line. Morel to Bale, space on the right for Roberts. Not a great first touch, but he's under no pressure there. Not a white shirt in sight for him. It's going to come back to him from Gareth Bale. He's further down the field, but under pressure now as Zalewski forces him to pass back to Cabango on the halfway line. We're well into the final 10 now. 9, in fact, minutes remaining. Another poor pass, this time from Morel. Potential to break for Poland, although Lewandowski is just trying to find half a yard at the moment, and does so well, with Zielinski slowly bringing it forward. Support arrives through Krakowiak, but it's walking pace support. Poland aren't desperate to score a second goal by this approach play.
They're not. I think they're quite happy to just sit on the ball. The problem is that Wales, with the way they're pressing, there's always a chance they can try and cut out a pass. Although Poland do look a little bit more assured now as they're in possession, but with every pass they're getting further and further back towards their own goal.
Yeah, and it's cleared by Szczerbakowicz. He's cleared. It's under-egging it, actually, because it's a pretty good pass. Now it's a ball over the top. Piontek will give Jace. Hennessy has to come way out of his area to head clear. He can only find Bednarek, who feeds it out to Zielinski. Hennessy's back on his back in position now. Zielinski still has it, 30 yards from goal. Doesn't want to shoot, though. He's waiting for teammates to arrive as they create the overlap. Now he might shoot. Goes for goal towards the far post, but that's, in fact, it was Zalewski. But Hennessy didn't look overly concerned. It's wide of the far post, and it will just be a goal kick and a chance for Poland to make another change.
Absolutely, yeah. It's going to be Sebastian Szymański to come on here for Szymon Żurkowski. Szymański, the former Legia Warsaw man who was playing in Moscow until the beginning of this season before getting a move to Feyenoord. After the Polish FA made it quite clear that they wouldn't be keen on picking players that were still playing in the Russian league, so he got his move to the Eredivisie, and he comes on here for Żurkowski.
Yeah, Szymański on then for the final 7.5 minutes of regulation. Undoubtedly there will be some stoppage time as well, as Wales get the game restarted as quickly as possible. They need to win, of course, and they're 1-0 down at home. That's a goal from Swiderski. This difference between the two sides, and that's a pretty poor first touch from Szymański. He was in space and he tried an outside of the boot pass, got it horribly wrong, sent it straight through to Hennessy, and Wales will come again fairly swiftly with Williams on the left, playing at left back now, of course, having started at left wing back. Good crossfield pass from Rodon, finds Johnson, right edge of the box, cross in towards the near post, cleared by Kivior, miskicked by Krakowiak, but he's helped by Szymański, and now Krakowiak holds off Colwell. Going around two attackers. Can he keep it in? He tries to go down the line for Lewandowski. Bit of hesitation at the back, and Lewandowski's beaten Rodon to the ball. Will get there. Is he being wrestled? He still has possession, but now somehow he's got his back to goal. There's no support as well for Lewandowski, but it's Polish possession. He's just holding out his arms, Lewandowski, saying, where is somebody trying to help me out?
Even there, he was pretty much level with the edge of the 6-yard box just outside the penalty area, and he's forced to play a pass almost 30 yards back to find a teammate. I know that Poland are trying to, sort of be a bit more settled and not push too far forward because they're already in front, but that was taking a bit too far, I think.
Yeah, it's Bereszynski's done really well to keep it in play, although I say that he's given Neco Williams a bit of a push in the back, and that'll be a free kick. But he's willing to make the run downfield. Lewandowski is wondering why nobody on the left-hand side was willing to make a run. But, of course, Poland don't need that second goal, and time is running out. 5.5 minutes to go. Another change, this time for Wales. Roberts is making way. He had a feisty first half. It's been a little bit quieter in the second. Sorba Thomas is coming on in his place.
That's right, the Huddersfield Town Mount now on for these last few minutes, just to give Wales perhaps a bit more of injection of pace down that right-hand side.
His first touch passed to Rodon. He switched sides with Cabango after they've switched from a back five. Ball looking for the pace of James, and he's got it behind Bereszynski into the box. Cross in, too close to the keeper. He's grabbed it at the second attempt. Will keep him all lurking. That was better from Dan James, more positive. Decent. It's a decent ball without being a great ball. If he'd delayed it a fraction, Kiefer Moore might have been there, but he didn't, and it's a comfortable save.
Yeah, well, I mean, Bereszynski there is done completely by that pass, and Dan James, he's had a good game, Dan James. As I say, it's almost like you could mirror what his game's been like with the rest of the Wales attack, that it's been good in getting forward, but just that final pass into the box has just eluded them, although Moore fighting with Bednarek and wins the ball here for Colwell.
Yeah, Colwell striding into the box, tight angle. He's gone towards the far post, but that's a great interception from Szczesny. Diving low. It was a cross from Colwell, not a shot. Brennan Johnson was in space, but I think the Poland keeper has read the danger and done what he needed to do.
He's done well there. The ball was quite close to Szczesny, though. I think it was difficult for Colwell to play it any further away from the 6-yard box, because then it would have been going behind Brennan Johnson and needed to give Johnson something to attack. It was just well read by the keeper.
Yeah, of course. If he'd just spotted that Colwell, he might have gone for goal himself, with Szczesny committed to the intercept rather than covering his near post. It's easy in hindsight, and of course I'm not running at full tilt into a box being tackled, so I'm not saying Colwell's done anything wrong there. Time's running out though for Wales. 3.5 minutes left off the 90. They're trailing by a goal to nil. I'm not sure. Do you think that's a fair reflection of the chances, at least, in this game?
I think Wales would feel unlucky that they're losing this game. I think that a score draw probably would be fair, because Poland have had a couple of decent chances and they took their goal very well. But I think if you were to add up all the chances that Wales have had, they were probably value for a goal as well in this game. Whether or not Wales are valued to be in front, I think that's probably pushing. I think a draw is probably about the fair result.
A draw, of course, wouldn't affect the overall outcome, which would be Wales getting relegated. Dan James has beaten Bereszynski again. He's been taken out. This time will be a yellow card, no doubt about it. I think Bereszynski has been full of energy up on that right-hand side, but he might just be running out of it. And, of course, there's lots of pace from James, and he just was committed to the foul.
He was going to get a yellow card there. He made that decision. He wasn't even looking at where the ball was. He just wanted to stop Dan James. Poland were a bit frustrated because that Welsh move started and Bednarek was asking to come on, and the referee was waiting until that move had finished before he let the defender on. He is back on the field now, and Wales have a free kick in a decent position. Yeah,
of course they need a goal quickly, because they need two to turn this game around, and there's under 2.5 minutes left now of the 90. Kiefer Moore's an obvious target again, but Rodon and Cabango are likely to be in there as well. The marking is the edge of the 6-yard box, so it's a chance to fizz it into a dangerous area. They've actually taken it short, lining up a shot for Neco Williams, and that shot is charged down. That looked a little bit ambitious. I'd have to say that free kick, considering where the defending was, as I think that was the substitute Szczerbakowicz, who's just dragged James back on the halfway line. That's a free kick again, but trying to be too clever with the free kick there?
Yeah, I think so. I think that with the amount of options they had in the box, it just seemed like it was a bit too ambitious, particularly with just a couple of minutes to go where you need to score twice. And in the meantime, it's Sorba Thomas waiting to take this free kick, because Wales have sent as many players forward as they can, but Poland are trying to play a high offside line.
Yeah, Turkey have got a goal back. That's 1-2 they trail. Ball into the box, and it's just too high for everybody. Szczesny's come out, claimed it on the edge of the 18-yard box, but it was a big up and under, and of course he jumped unchallenged. That's two free kicks that Wales have played pretty poorly in the last minute, with time running out, needing a goal. I think Poland want to make a change in a moment.
It's Robert Gumny, the former Lech Poznan man who now plays for Augsburg in the Bundesliga, and he is a right back, so potentially this is for Bereshinski, who's just taken a yellow card for the team there.
No, it's not. It is, yeah. I thought that said number 10 for a minute, but no, it's right. Bereshinski's just gone off, just picked up a booking, so like Paul said, like for like, they don't want a sending off. Gumny coming on in his place. There's limited time left though. I think we've just about reached now. We've got 30 seconds left of the 90 minutes, so then whatever injury time will be added on, or stoppage time, I think people like to call it these days, as it's Poland on the attack. Ball over the top for Lewandowski. That's far too heavily struck by Szczerbakowicz. One bounce through to Hennessy, and Wales come again. Long ball down the right, looking for the pace of Johnson this time, but two have tracked it. It was a miscued clearance though from Kivior. He merely teed it up for Johnson. Now it's Thomas arrives, low cross in, disappointing. It's not what Wales wanted. It's hammered away. 5 minutes of stoppage time we've just entered, and Luxembourg have taken the lead at home to Lithuania, incidentally. Wales on the attack in our game, needing 2 goals. They're trailing by a goal to nil. Colwell has it, trying to pull the trigger at the edge of the box. Kiefer Moore almost fell kindly for him, but it was blocked. Good defending in the end by Poland. If a little bit desperate, job done, and it remains Wales 0, Poland 1.
Yeah, Bednarek with the block there. It seemed to set up perfectly for Kiefer Moore, but defender just got in his way at the last moment and cleared towards the halfway line. But Poland sitting deep, and Wales coming again now.
Yeah, it's with Williams under a bit of pressure though from Szczerbakowicz into the centre circle, and Morel floats it out to the right hand side, and Thomas, he does have some space, has options in the middle as well. Better cross this time. Gareth Bale headed top of the bar. It hasn't been cleared out of the 6-yard box. Kiefer Moore couldn't quite get that. Poland reacting. It's eventually hammered downfield. I think there was a late kick there as well. And Gareth Bale has had a word with the Poland defender. Johnson's had a word. Glick's come across to just protect his teammate who's down on the deck. Gareth Bale didn't like potentially the theatrics. He felt there wasn't much contact. And it's just time off the clock, not doing Wales any favours. It will be a free kick, though, to Poland.
It will be. It's Zorba Thomas' ball in from the right-hand side. Great header there from Bale, changing direction there to crash into the top of the crossbar. But we'll just see the replay as that ball comes off the crossbar after Bale's header. Looked like there was a little bit of late contact before the ball was cleared away. But yeah, there have been a few moments where things have just been a little bit physical. And Strauss, they're just trying to diffuse the situation with his arms round Bale and Kiefer Moore. Bale unhappy there about the time it's taking to restart.
Brennan Johnson's got a yellow card, I believe. I believe it was Brennan Johnson. Presumably for something he said rather than the foul itself, because I'm sure that was Gareth Bale. Glick might have picked up a yellow card because he was protecting his teammate on the ground. That's not saying Zalewski hasn't made the most of whatever contact, if any, there was. But this isn't unusual, and Wales will be doing exactly the same thing if they were 1-0 up. Johnson has been confirmed as being given a yellow card. So 2.5 minutes left of the 5 minutes of stoppage time to be played. Wales need 2 goals. They've just come mighty close to getting one of them with Bale's header off the crossbar. And Poland are obviously protecting what they've got. Pretty much everybody back behind the ball. Good defensive header clear though by Bednarek up towards the halfway line. It's going to come back though. Thomas out to Brennan Johnson, who's running at Zalewski. Back into Thomas, who's got to the bar. Can he find a teammate? Bit of a ricochet. There's a bit of pinball as well. Eventually a white foot stabs it clear. Back to Brennan Johnson. His cross headed away by Glick. And it's panic stations at the back from Poland. But the important thing is somebody's getting in the way of whatever there might be. Brennan Johnson's gone down, so dispossessed Zalewski. But legally, says the referee this time. And it's cleared out behind for a corner kick. Zalewski's playing for a free kick that he wasn't going to get, and this time told by the referee to get up. Another corner for Wales.
Great hustle here from Wales at the end of the game. You've got to say that. Poland are encouraging it by sitting further back, but that's mostly down to the fact that Wales are pushing so much. And we've still got 90 seconds to play, although there might be a little bit more with that injury to Zalewski during his stoppage time. But here comes the corner from Thomas.
6 in the box, 2 lurking outside. It's in towards the near post. I think that's Lewandowski back there with a great defensive header. Back to the corner taker and Thomas. Cross in again towards the near post. Gareth Bale's got underneath there. It's still kept alive to Kiefer Moore. Moore comes out to Cabango, left it on, then there's an altercation. Kiefer Moore's been penalised in the build-up, so it wouldn't have counted. And
it looks like he shoved Krychowiak off the ball as that ball was played back. As you said, the two Welsh players are leaving the ball for each other. And in the end, we'll see. Bale doesn't quite get the header right this time. He heads it up in the air rather than towards goal. And as Krychowiak jumps for this, Keith, I'm not sure why Moore's been booked for that, because as far as I can see, he's jumping for the ball and he's leaned on Krychowiak. It might be a foul, although I'm not even sure every referee would give that as a foul, but it's certainly not a booking for me.
Yeah, the chance, I mean, it was wasted anyway, because Cabango wanted to pull the trigger and Maybury saw... was it Rodon to his left? It might have been Colwell, actually. They kind of left it to each other and Poland cleared. So the chance would have come to nothing anyway. But it is more time off the clock, and there's 20 seconds left of the 5 minutes of stoppage time. That's not to say the referee won't add anything more on. Netherlands have beaten Belgium. So I think that means Netherlands have won the group, doesn't it? This particular group. Necker Williams has turned his man, but then showed too much of the ball to Krychowiak. Although the substitute governor has just been caught in possession. Dan James with a cross, partially blocked. It's hooked into a dangerous area by Colwell. Brennan Johnson's first touch isn't great, and it's stabbed clear by Poland. We're into the 6 minutes of stoppage time, so the referee's full-time whistle. It's unlikely Wales are going to have enough time to get 2 goals, but they at least want to get a positive result. It's Dan James on the attack left-hand side to Colwell, who's figured quite prominently for Wales. He's won a free kick as well, which could be the last attack of the game. Since being introduced, actually, Colwell's been in good positions, and he's certainly added some offensive threat.
He has. That was he's been a good substitution, as has Thomas on the right-hand side. He's only been on for a few minutes, but he's already put in a couple of great balls. And this is the problem now, as Piontek, the forward, was back helping in defence. And it was a bit of a forwards raking challenge there, giving that free kick away. So Wales made a bit of a mess of the last time they had a free kick in this position, so they need to use this one a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, there was 5 minutes of stoppage time and 6 have been completed, so there aren't going to be too many chances after this, even if it goes in. Gareth Bale is stood over it. He's looking like he's lining up a Ronaldo-esque, but it's wide of the 18-yard box. It's not far outside it, but the angle isn't fantastic. Will it be a shot? Will it be a cross? Up he steps, and it's a cross towards the far post. It's just over Kiefer Moore, headed away by Krychowiak, I think it was. Thomas has it, the substitute, just cross it back in to the mixer. Glancing header away from Bednarek. Helped further downfield by Szymański. And there goes the full-time whistle. Poland hanging on a little bit at the end, but it's they who will stay in League A. They've won at the Cardiff City Stadium by 1-0. Swiderski's goal just after the restart separating the two sides. This result means Wales have been relegated. Full-time, Wales 0, Poland 1.